Hi friends, very excited to be coming to you today. I'm MelVee Mnkandla from MelVee Video Productions. Today we have an exciting story, a story that celebrates that which God intended in the first place. I'm talking about marriage. We're so privileged on this set to have Irvine and Ruth. Greetings.
Hello.
How are you guys?
Fine, thanks.
We're very excited to have you today on this show for marriage testimonies.
Thank you.
We want to hear everything today.
Okay.
Now, maybe let's go back to where it all started. Could you tell us how the two of you met?
All right. It was in 2007.
Okay.
I had been invited to a Pathfinder camporee that was going to happen in Kwekwe.
Okay.
It was the first one for me to attend.
Kwekwe sounds like in Zimbabwe.
Yes, in Zimbabwe.
All right.
So it was in Zimbabwe, Kwekwe, and I went there as one of the directors, should I say.
All right.
So that's why I met
So
him.
who invited you to the camporee?
It was one of the directors. He was my friend.
All right.
So they were short of staff.
Okay.
So he invited me to be there to help.
All right.
So I agreed, and everything went so well. We got there, first day, second day. I think it was on the third day
Yeah.
when we were taking water from the tap with my friends.
All right.
And it happened that my friend knew her. I didn't know her at all. And he greeted her. Then something just struck me, I don't know why.
All right.
And then I also greeted her. And there's something I did, I didn't pronounce her surname properly. That was on the name tag.
Okay.
Yes. She says, why are you pronouncing my name like that? I said, okay, I'm sorry about that. That was the first time we spoke.
I wonder how you pronounced it. Do you remember?
Yes, I do. It was Shumba.
All
But you know, I was used to saying my things my own way.
Your
I don't
Debele
really
way.
remember. I don't really remember how I said it, but I pronounced it wrong, and she said why. Then we spoke a little, and then she went.
Okay.
Then the first time we had like a conversation together, alone, was the Sabbath of that camporee.
Okay.
So we spoke, we took a walk the whole day, just the two of us,
Wow.
talking,
Wow.
trying to know each other.
Yeah.
Nothing really specific to say, you know.
So Ruth, at that first impression, did you know him before?
No, I had never seen him before.
Okay.
And I didn't have any interest at all.
In him,
Yes.
particularly.
Yes, I didn't. So I just saw as a friendly guy. So that's why I agreed that we take that walk that he asked for, and we're just chatting about general stuff.
All right.
Yes.
So what happened after the walk?
Yeah, it was the Sabbath.
Yes.
Last Sabbath, and then Sunday was the last day.
Okay.
So we left, and apparently we were going to use a train.
Okay.
So it happened that we were in the same couch.
All right.
And then we saw each other. We spoke all the way from Kwekwe to Bulawayo. That's where we were going.
Wow.
So we got to know each other, trying to ask one or two questions,
Yes.
not really hitting it.
Okay.
And then we separated ways.
Yeah.
And at that time, she was going to start going to college the same year. And it was the same year as well that I was going to go to college.
Tell me about the parting at the train station. I do have some details about...
No, the parting at the train station.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a guy who came over to pick her.
Yes.
And he had interest in her.
All right.
And she had told me about him.
Okay.
So he had gone ahead. Now he had come to pick her at the station. So he was there when we were dropping off. He was there and came close to her. They started talking. But I could tell that she didn't like it.
Okay.
But she couldn't tell him.
So this guy was taking over your flair.
Yeah, he took over. And so I was in the separate bus. They had their own bus. They went home. And that was the last time I saw her that day. She went.
Yeah.
So we kept contact, calling each other here and there. I had a cell phone then.
Yeah.
She didn't have.
Okay.
So I'll call the landline number at home.
All right.
And the father will always be there to pick up the phone. And
Her father?
Her father.
Ruth's father?
Yes.
Okay.
And I call anytime he's there. Hello? I said, this man. And so it was difficult for me to ask for her all the time.
All right.
So sometimes I would drop
the
call. But then we kept chasing. I kept chasing her.
Yeah.
We were going to the, same time, going to town together every day using the same train.
All right.
And, would speak a lot. And then I think I started, it was in April when we met. Then I think in May, I said, I'm taking too long. Let me just say my story.
Okay.
I said it, she kept backing off. She would come up with excuses.
All right.
So I chased until another camporee.
All right.
That was in 2008.
Okay.
Now it was in Solusi. I was a director now. I was not invited, so I was the director.
All right.
So we went there. Maybe she wants to finish off there.
I actually was going to ask her to say, all along when this man was coming around, what was happening there?
Okay, the first thing that was making me doubt, okay, as time went on, I started liking him, having my interest in him.
Okay.
But number one, I had my pride to say, a guy says they like you a month or two, then you say, I love you. You know, it doesn't work for me.
You wanted it.
Yes, it sounds like you're desperate.
Yes.
So I just had to take my time and be sure.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the age difference.
Okay.
7 years different age gap.
Wow.
So I needed to be sure that what is this Madala doing with me, you know? So I had to take my time. And I prayed to God, you know, not so many men will be there to wait for you to make your decision. Yeah. So I prayed to God, I said, if this is the right guy, he must wait. And I will take my time. Wow. And I took 1 year to decide.
Wow, and all along he was chasing.
I was just dilly-dallying. Then he actually wrote me a letter, a 4-page letter, back to back.
Wow. When is this now? Is this after the year?
No.
Was that the proposal?
Yes.
Wow.
Then he told me, I can see that you like me, so why are you taking so much time? And why don't you just say it and we start, you know? But I just had to take my time still.
Wow.
Yes.
I would wish to read that later.
It's still there. You must come see me. Yes.
Oh, yeah. I would love
to. It's there in my archives.
Anything you remember about what he said in that letter? Besides, why are you taking time?
He just told me how much he loves me and that he had waited so long, 5 years without a girlfriend. Wow. Then finally had seen the person that she loves, that he loves, yes.
So this is 2008. When did you then get married?
Actually, before we got married, we just wanted to do things properly. Okay. I said to myself, look, this lady has made me wait for a year.
Okay.
And it was in April I first saw in Kwekwe, Zimbabwe. Then she says yes in April 2008. Now it's in Solusi, Zimbabwe still. So I had to wait to do things properly. I didn't want to rush everything. Okay. She came to South Africa in 2009 in January, and I followed. It was in May. Then now it was getting serious every day. And then I had to do the engagement. So I did the surprise engagement in 2011. And I remember the date, it was 10 December.
All right.
In the evening at Monte Casino in Fourways.
I think I saw the pictures on Facebook. And someone was like...
I was crying the whole time.
So that was a surprise. Oh, you didn't want to run away? Did you feel like running away?
It was just amazing.
And the good thing, it was after church. So
all right.
It was, I took advantage of, the same spirit.
Yes, okay.
So she couldn't run away.
Wow.
And then, so it was in 2011 we got engaged.
Yeah.
I went to Pay Lobola 2012. Yeah, 2012 in March. And then we started doing the serious preparations for the wedding. We were given the go-ahead to choose a date. And then we chose the date. It was going to be the same day. She said yes. So it was 14 April, now 2013. Yeah. And she said yes, 14 April 2008.
2008.
Yeah. So everything had to be done.
All right.
So we got married April 2014. Yeah. 2013, 14 April.
All right. So you actually took quite a bit of time in your courtship.
Yes.
And you didn't rush.
Yes, I didn't rush. And the other thing is, I was not really working properly. Okay. So things started getting better, 2010, 11, 12. So I had to take my time.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Any experiences and thoughts from the time you were engaged to marriage?
Oh, well, it was quite an amazing experience. Yeah. And the fact that we are outgoing people. Yes. So we would go out for camps, and apparently people think that we look alike. So
I think right now you do.
Back then, they still think that we looked alike. Wow. So girls would come to me and say, "Can we have your brother's number?"
Wow.
Imagine. So yes, it was quite fun, and we have so much in common. We are outgoing. We love camps. That's where we find our.
So one could say you actually became quite strong, close friends, if I can put it that way. And you had so much that you could do together.
Yes.
Besides just saying, "How's your day?"
Oh, yes.
Exactly.
You could go out and do quite a lot. And I
Yes.
think that's quite important for young people out there who are watching this testimony. It's important to find someone not only who is beautiful, like Ruth is, but someone you can be a friend with. And it really helps a lot. And we really appreciate your testimony. Now, tell us about the marriage. How did you go about doing the marriage?
The wedding itself, our families, there were some who were saying, because now we're living in South Africa, and that's where we are now. Some family members would say, guys, go back home and do the wedding so that everyone, our grandmothers and everyone will attend. But we decided that we would do it this side.
Yeah.
So we had a bit of that challenge when we were planning the wedding itself. But finally, everyone agreed that we will do it here in South Africa.
Okay.
So it was here, and the experience was quite challenging, but when we look back now, we love it because we managed to pull through, not by our own power, but God had to come through. I remember at one morning, we just sat at the park.
Okay.
I was on leave then, she was on leave. We sat at the park, we didn't know what to do. What can we do? Where will we get money, resources?
Yeah.
But it all came together.
Okay.
So we loved it, and we'd say we will make it a day for us to remember.
All right.
Honeymoon.
And it's always important to actually, and I think that's part of you doing it the right way.
Yes.
And the right way is to really get involved in a ceremony where people come in, the pastors are there, the counseling is done. I don't know if you still remember what the pastor said on that day. unless if you did a video, then you can sit back and watch, because I know most people on that day, they're like, ooh, finally it has happened. Yeah, but anything, Ruth, from your side in terms of your wedding?
Okay.
Any experience you could share from that?
Well, what I can say is we arranged our wedding, just the two of us, mostly, because we knew what we wanted. And our honeymoon as well.
Yeah.
We went to Mauritius after maybe during the wedding, we were just thinking, let this pass, we want to go.
I know that feeling. I've heard it a lot. I've gone through a wedding as well. You're like, they just move and finish this thing?
Because people are entertained by the wedding. We just want to go, be the two of us, and just rest and enjoy.
Especially after the pastor has pronounced you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we planned, and it taught us to be strong and to stand firm for what we want and what we believe in. Some of the relatives are traditionalists and all that. Yeah. So you have to be strong in your Christianity and teach them how it's done, show them how it's done. Don't just talk, but also show them what's the right way to do things. Yeah.
Now let's talk about your marriage since you said 2013.
Yes.
April. It's almost like over 2 years now.
Yeah.
I would like to find out what are some of the experiences that you've gone through, because most people are scared to get into marriage. They think it's a jail. And it's very difficult. You are giving away your freedom, and there are many people that come in, the in-laws, and sometimes they call them the outlaws. Yes. and they call marriage a challenge, but you guys look very happily married. Can you share with us some of the challenges that you've gone through, both good and even bad, if there are any?
Perhaps one thing to say is that as we got into marriage, we're best friends. I was staying alone as a bachelor, she was staying alone. Mm-hmm. So when we got married, two friends, close friends, came to stay together. So we stayed together as friends.
All right.
The things I liked, I just brought them. The things she liked, she brought, and we just blended. I remember the first time we moved into our apartment, just the two of us. We were so excited. We didn't have much.
All right.
And we saw the space, there was nothing. We were so excited that we are beginning. Let's begin it with God and see where it takes us.
Yes.
We're so excited. And even now, when we look back, we don't have some regrets about our marriage, why we got married. We actually are excited every day.
Wow.
So there hasn't been really a big challenge, but perhaps it could be the common one, the financial challenge.
Yes.
But sometimes when you're planning the wedding, you get so excited, you do a lot of things.
You actually go out of your way to make sure things work out perfectly.
Things work out, you invite some people.
Yeah.
And now we had some relatives who were coming all the way.
And they're asking for the bus
fares. So at the end of the day,
they always do.
They always do. And you have that bit of a challenge financially.
Yes.
But we said, well, we've done the best that we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Now we start on a new chapter.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
We have loved it.
All right. And anything that perhaps may have been a bad experience that you've gone through? It's 2 years. Maybe it's still too early
yes,
to have.
it's too early to have.
Yes.
We're still on the honeymoon phase.
All right.
So everything is still juicy, and we're
Yeah.
hoping it stays like that.
Yeah.
And God blessed us with the...
My pastor also told me at some point as I was getting married, that's about 15 years or 16 years ago, that there are 3 things that cause marriages to fall apart. I think you mentioned one of them, finances, your relatives, your in-laws, and your in-laws on both sides, and of course communication. I know you've mentioned finances as a starting phase of your marriage, but I'm sure you're working now, you're both earning incomes and you're contributing to your home. But talk to us about perhaps the other 2 options. How do you manage them? Because these are the key leading factors that cause marriages to break apart. How you communicate with yourselves and how you relate to your in-laws. How do you relate to your parents and to your parents and your friends that you had before?
Okay. When we got married, most of his friends are my friends, and my friends are his friends.
Okay.
So
how did you manage that?
I'm sure it's the common things that we share.
Okay.
So we find ourselves in the same circles.
All right.
He doesn't have his own circles, I don't have my own circles.
All right.
So wherever we are, we're mostly together. People sometimes they're like, you go shopping together. What kind of a man does that? But yes, we do.
All right.
So all the common grounds that we share, those are the things that make us have the same friends. And also when it comes to relatives, one thing that we agreed on or learned is the circles issue. That there's the first circle, that is me and him.
Okay.
Then the next circle is our family, our kids. The next circle is our parents. Then we have the siblings, we have the cousins, as it spreads out.
Yeah.
So we first take care of each other. We're happy, our kids. They're happy, the parents. It goes like that.
Okay. But now there's a challenge with that school of thought. Who goes to what circle? Do you both go to the circles or one goes and comes back? I'll tell you this. Some marriage counselors, you hear them saying, today the 2 are one. They'll point at your parents and say, Ivan no longer exists. This is now your new Ivan. So they kind of try to switch you across. But how do you actually manage that relationship? Do you still talk to your mother directly? Or does she come through your wife? You know, there's these things of how to manage. How do you actually manage it? Because if you move from your circle, who moves to go and relate there? Do you do it together? How do you actually do it? Because people out there want to know, and that's where things fall apart.
Yes.
To say, so you went to see your parents without me?
Yes.
Were you talking about me?
Perhaps just to explain that from my side, the people that are there as my parents are my brothers and my sisters, my siblings.
Okay.
My mom and dad are not there anymore.
Okay.
So, and from her side, it's mostly the mother and the dad is there. So she had perhaps the goodness that she doesn't really have a close in-law from my side.
All right.
It's brothers and sisters and aunts. And then for me, it's the mother.
Yeah.
Mostly I communicate with the mother. So it was really a challenge in the beginning to learn that I will have some time to say to my brothers and sisters, please, if you're going to ask anything, don't ask me, learn to ask from my wife.
All right.
It's easier for her, it's easier for you
Yeah.
to get it when you ask via her, then I will know.
Yes.
And she also has told me or the people after me that don't ask through me.
Yeah.
The people from her side.
Yes.
Ask through my husband.
Your son-in-law.
Yes, your son-in-law.
Yes.
And then things will happen. So now, after a year and a half or so, we are enjoying that.
Yeah.
We have learned it from other counselors as we're growing in marriage, that it is the best thing to say, your parents have become my parents, and my parents or brothers have become her brothers and sisters. So she doesn't really have aunts and uncles from my side. It's like, brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Okay.
She relates with them like that. So our communication is not so difficult. We are loving it because they know how to speak to her. She enjoys it, and I speak to my mother-in-law as if I'm speaking to my own mother. So
Mm.
we are loving it, but I know it's a challenge in the
Yeah.
beginning, but we should learn to be patient with it. It comes around, and we begin to love it.
Okay. Any thoughts from your side, Ruth?
I'd like to say I was privileged. Maybe it also comes to being humble.
Okay.
You have to be humble, Makoti,
Yes.
to your aunts, the sisters, the brothers, and everyone, so that you have that relationship,
Yeah.
because it contributes a lot in your marriage. You can't say, I'm married to him and him alone. No. You're married into the family.
Yeah.
So what they think of you matters.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And how you behave when you're around.
Yes, absolutely.
Manners.
Yes. So
Wonderful. Yeah. Now, in terms of your siblings, or do you have any siblings on both sides, and how do you relate to them? Because you used to maybe share a bed with your brother, but now you can't. And share a shoe. Does he just come in and take your shoe and go?
It's quite interesting, because the first days when we got married, I have one sibling, a brother,
Okay.
after me. He would come visit before he got married himself.
Yeah.
So when he visits us, we would forget and find ourselves, trying to say we are going to share the same bed. And now I'm married. So the other siblings that I have are from my uncles and my aunts.
Yeah.
And from my side, it's only one. So she has really enjoyed that relationship. And sometimes they'll spend time just talking,
Yeah.
especially my brother.
Yeah.
With the issue, he will call him a wife and happy, and I'll just watch from a distance.
All right.
And I love it.
In the last 2 years, I'm sure you've been blessed. I saw a little one around here. How has that changed the dynamics of your relationship? You're blessed with a baby child,
yes,
sure? Yeah?
baby girl.
Baby girl.
Yes.
Yes.
Her name is Irvine Ruth Mnkandla.
All right.
She's just amazing.
Yeah.
God blessed us at the right time.
All right.
And we can't say that this was the time that we had planned for the baby and all that. She just came, if I can put it like that.
Okay.
She just came, but we embraced it, and it is the most amazing thing that we have in the home.
Yeah.
She brings so much happiness, and they're so close with the dead than me, amazingly.
Really?
And they look alike. So
right.
yes, it brings this warmth, and it gives us the passion to work, and the reason, more reason, even to thank God.
I like it when you say she just came. And I'm tempted to ask, how many more are just going to come? Are there more that are planned?
Well, we are planning that to have 2 children.
All right.
Kids.
Not 2 more.
Not 2 more.
One more.
One
I
more,
wanted that
the 2.
clarification.
Yes. And
So you have not made it a personal project to fill the world?
well,
that was Abraham.
It's a girl we have now.
Yeah.
And if God blesses us with a boy,
Yes,
then
it completes.
we'll close the chapter. It will be complete.
So that you're not an endangered species in a house.
So that the Mnkandla, continues.
Okay.
Yes, but what I can say about her coming into our lives, she came the second year when we got married, and she has actually brought us closer together. We just love her being in our lives. It's not like saying, your baby is doing this, come get your child.
All right.
She is ours. And we have learned in the 2 years that we've been married from different speakers and preachers and counselors that, yes, she's bringing us a lot of joy, but we mustn't forget the 2 of us. We mustn't forget to love each other, to care for one another, to do things for each other. No, we do things for her, because one day she's going to grow up, get married, and will remain just the 2 of us again.
Yes.
So we have learned to balance it, try to balance it all the time.
Wonderful. Now, we're getting close to wrapping up this, but before we do, if you were to be given a chance to go 15 years from now, 20 years from now, where do you see your relationship at? Since you've talked about that she's going to grow up and leave.
Yes.
So what do you envision for your marriage? If we come back, and God has blessed us to come back after 15 years and talk about your marriage, where do you see yourselves as a couple?
It's a difficult one.
I guess I'm looking at what are your plans looking ahead, besides having a second baby. What other things are in store that you're really looking forward to say, we have this planned for the future?
One thing for sure that we would love to do together as a family is to travel.
All right.
We have been inspired by some couples that we see that perhaps once a year just travel, tour the world. Perhaps say we start with Europe, Americas, and Asia, things like that. Just travel the world because we are here for a short while. If God comes anytime, we'll go. Just travel it. And then we are seeing I've said to her before, I'd love to see us sit down and relax, see a business running, perhaps a farm, do some farming, settle down in Zim, do farming. Just because people just go and check things and relax at home. The truth is, both of us just love relaxing.
All right.
We love it.
Yes.
Yeah, just being at home, doing shopping together.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hope
Wonderful.
that even our kids will know that dad and mom
Wonderful.
love just being together.
Wonderful. Any thoughts for the future?
Well, he has mentioned mostly that we just want to settle down.
Yeah.
We want the country life.
All right.
Yes. Want the country life, not the town life.
All right. Wonderful. Now, there are young people out there who are saying, thank you so much for sharing your story. But they also want to hear what is in your heart for them. If you were given a chance to talk to the young people, and I'm sure they are out there, to give them a word of counsel about marriage. Some may be thinking, should I get married or should I not? Or should I get remarried? Maybe they also were divorced. Any thoughts that you might have for those who are watching out there? Maybe let me start with Ruth.
Oh, well, I'd like to say to the young ladies out there, take your time.
All right.
Get married to your friend, because you'll be waking up next to that person for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It has to be someone that you love, someone that you care for. And when you get into marriage, you don't find happiness in marriage. You bring happiness. So it's all about what you bring, not what you get in marriage.
Wonderful.
So there's no happiness in marriage. You bring the happiness.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
And divorce is not an option.
Wow. Okay. You're in there. You've got to make it work.
Yes.
Okay.
And you work for it.
Yes.
It doesn't just come.
Wonderful.
You work for it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Baba, any last words for those who are watching?
I would say to the young people, marriage is the best gift that God has given us. And He has made it to be beneficial to us. We don't get married to please anyone, but it is for our best. So let's not shun from it. There is more when you get to married that you benefit. Like God blesses you, perhaps even more than when you're not married. The moment you get married, you have done exactly what God has said. And He blesses. Wait until the right time comes. Pray for the partner. Don't say they will just come. Pray and wait upon God's answer. And definitely He gives the answer at His own time. Don't pray with one eye open to say that one. Just pray.
Yes.
And perhaps just describe to God what kind of a woman you are looking for, a lady you are man you are looking at. Then God will just provide.
Wonderful.
And He doesn't miss it. He just provides.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for the time, and I wish you all the best of marriage bliss. And continue loving each other. And may the Lord bless you. And the little one, Eden, as well. Well, friends, that's all we had for you this week. You've heard it from the horse's mouth. We're talking to Mr. and Mrs. Mnkandla. Brilliant testimony. We also hope that as you build and think about building your own marriage, you build with God as the foundation. Pray much with both of your eyes closed, like Irvine says, and trust in God. This is Melusi. Thank you, and God bless you.